Today I'll be taking over for this intermodal train. This is a train symbol S, LHA, LPK. Pier 400 in Long Beach, California, going to Logistics Park in Gardner, Kansas. And we're currently overlooking Needles, and the crew is taking it to a stop here at the crew change point. And this is right where I'm going to be hopping on and taking over for these guys and bringing it all the way to Seligman, Arizona, in the end of the map in Run 8. All right, so this train that I'm running started way down here in Long Beach, California at the pier. Got loaded with containers at the port here, Pier 400. And then it's going to LPK, which is Logistics Park in Gardner, Kansas. And where I'm picking up is at Needles, which is way over here. So this is all the Needles sub from Barstow to Needles. And then if I zoom in here, this is where I'm hopping on the train right now at the crew change point. And then I'm going to be taking it the rest of the way east. We're going to go through Kingman, Arizona, and then we're going to go all the way here to Seligman, Arizona. And this is where there's the town of Seligman, and this is where the map ends in Run 8. And here we go. Needles was founded in 1883 as a critical crew change point for the Atlantic and Pacific Railroad, which was a Santa Fe predecessor. And it's one of the oldest cities in San Bernardino County, famously named after the nearby Needles mountain peaks because they look like needles. Route 66 actually runs through downtown Needles, and we're going to be following it, as you'll see, I think, pretty much this whole route. Current track speed is 40 miles an hour. I think we're jumping up to 55 here pretty soon. Downhill here because it says flat. It must not be too heavy. Check our stats here. 6,480 feet, 3.5 horsepower per ton, 6,500 tons. I was going to put up the fence, but I don't think I need to. Oh, I forgot to call the dispatcher. Unbelievable. I wonder we got an approach signal up here. should be able to call him right after this signal, because if this is the approach, so the next one will be the stop. So this will be when he says call me at the next control point, it'll be this section as soon as I go through here. Now watch, if I give him a call, he'll give us a signal. Nothing but a wide open desert out here. And yeah, see, he acknowledged now because I went through that approach signal. So you don't have to wait, and he's saying proceed on signal indication, but I don't know what it is. Can I see up there? Oh, I see a green. That's kind of, I think I do. No, that looks like it's all red. Maybe I better slow down a little bit just to be safe. But yeah, when he says call me at the next control point, you don't have to wait until you get all the way to the whatever the next signal or the control point signal. Just as soon as you enter into that block, then it'll work. Can I see what this is? I think I see a green there, but I'm seeing a bunch of reds. No, I don't know. Well, unless those ones on the left, those are for the yard, I think. There's our green. Okay. It's a little confusing from that angle, but those 4 reds are actually off to the left for the 2 tracks on the left here, leaving Needle's yard. So this next control point crossover is going to be East Needles. And then after that, it looks like in about 13 miles from here, we'll be at Topock. I could turn our cab lights on. The AI automatically turns on the cab lights, step lights, and gauge lights, I think, whether it's night or day. But we obviously don't need all of that on. We're clear for 50. It looks like we're going, still say the grade is flat? Yeah, 0%. Oh, this is the Colorado River here that we just crossed over. Wait a minute. Oh, is it on the other side there? Yeah. There it is right there. That's the Colorado River. We're going to be crossing over the Colorado River Bridge just east of needles here when we get to Topock. The current bridge that we're going to be crossing actually replaced a famous bridge, a Red Rock Cantilever Bridge that was built in 1890, and it was once the largest of its kind in the United States. Just passed milepost 573. We're maxed out in notch 8 and we're still slowing down, so this must be a pretty decent grade. Oh, I didn't even know you could hit this. Look at that. How about that? Never knew those even worked. I don't think they do anything, but I didn't never know you could hit them. I wonder what those buttons do. Got there. Oh shoot, I missed that sign, but I think according to my map it should be a 55. Oh no, 45. We got a 45 in 2 miles. I gotta slow down. I'm already speeding. I'm already going over 55. Here it is. Here's the big bridge. Now we're crossing over into Arizona. Is that like a boat launch down there? I feel like there's more things here that I haven't noticed before. Even some of the details on this bridge, I don't remember, like this little walkway and stuff. Look at that. Route 66. I'm already going too fast because I'm doing too much sightseeing with all these cool old bridges and everything. Should be doing 45, but I just put on the train brake, so it's starting to slow us down now. And then as soon as I get past this little section here at, I don't even know, let me check the map here. This is just East Needles. No, this is, doesn't actually have a name. But once we get through here, then I'm back up to 55. I think here's our 55 sign. Yep. So I could start the counter right now, and then as soon as that counter counts down and we're clear of the sign, I can bring her up to 55. Oh, it really got steep all of a sudden. I think towards the end of this trip we should get some nice sunsets. I don't know if it's going to be dark or if the sun will just be near the horizon, but I think it should be pretty nice. Oh, you know what? I think I can do 70. I'm at 55, but I think let me start the counter again because we're a stack train, intermodal. I think it's going to tell me 70. That'd be awesome. I'm so used to doing mixed manifest and it, then your limit's 55. Either way, I'm just sitting in notch 8 here, though. With this grade, what's our grade? 1.5%. All right, so this is the Topock control point, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then after this, we got West Franconia. This was milepost 561.2. All right, so that beep was the end of our train. Yeah, look at that. We can do 70. Awesome. But I'm going to need a downhill to get up to that speed here. I'm really dragging. Radio is a bit quiet, a lot more quieter than it typically is. at that beautiful view. Must just be like a little spur track here. Look at the mountains off in the distance way out there. Yeah, those are just, that was Powell, I think we just went through. There's just a couple of little spur tracks leading to nowhere. Maybe that's to store some power? I don't know. If you need, I don't think so. You wouldn't be adding or taking away helpers right here, would? No, I don't think so. Press any of these buttons? I don't think these do anything. I do get a where it says ready there. If there's an error, it'll tell you the error, but looks like I can't actually interact with it. Type anything in. All right, so next we're looking at the siding at West Franconia. Milepost 553.5. And this is West Franconia. Not a lot out here in this area other than real nice distant mountains. But otherwise it's pretty desolate. What's over here? More mountains. That looks really nice. Just adjusting my cab position here because I like seeing out the windows on the sides a bit. That's probably better. But also on the default position on these Dash 9s is back a little bit. You're a little bit of a ways from the screen, so I like to get a little closer so I can read the numbers. Bad we're climbing here. I'd love to get it up to 70 miles an hour. So this is East Franconia, just the other end of that siding. Sometimes it's a little bit fun to hit the physical buttons. distance away. And this is all 1-to-1 scale. Time I should just try walking there in the sim and just maybe spend 10 hours walking to see how far I make it. I think that's one of the big things that makes Run 8 special, is that it's all 1-to-1 scale, and you never see the edge of a map, no matter where you go. Even if you try, I mean, I've done it, but if you try, like, it takes a while to actually fly at the fastest speed in the air to the edge of a map. It's just so big, they go so far beyond where you would ever go that you never encounter the edge. And I don't think there's any other train sim that has anything close to that. Trains with a Z has phenomenal close-up detail because it's initially built as a model railroad sim, so it's all about adding tons of detail around the industries and stuff, and I love that. But the map itself usually is like one tile off to the side, and then it just drops off, and then it's over. There's no more map. So it's more about the being real close up views. And then I think Train Sim World, I think you can get some really distant views, but you can't go over there or anything. You can't actually, and I don't know if they're, I can't imagine that it's like physically there. Like in Run 8, those mountains in the distance are actual mountains. Like it's not just like a flat board photo. There'd be actual mountains that you would be able to like walk up if you actually went out there. And that's what makes it awesome, because then they interact with the lighting as the sun changes. Whereas I don't think the other sims actually have physical features like that far away that interact with the lighting. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Alright, let's get some flat ground here, or at least, what are we at still? Up 1%, it looks like? Let's get this thing up to 70 miles an hour here. Wow, we got a grade? I guess we're already on the grade. And this is actually a great spot to end part 1 of this trip, so stay tuned for part 2.